Think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way back the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's going to try to get one more shot off the left foot. The ball's there.
How about that?
Steps over Toronto. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Calenzo. Welcome to the show. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. We just left the Arctic. That is January behind. Welcome to February, guys. We are now in the second month of the year, and it's still pretty damn cold outside. So thank you all for joining me here on the Boom Broadcasting Network here, Three from Deep, having a great show here lined up for you Monday. First one here in February. And I want to give a special shout out right out the gate to my man, Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty. Guys, if you're not on the Boom Broadcasting Network, you need to do so and get on there and get subscribed because we have some great content providers. I'm going to spotlight Mr. Smith because he did a quick hits show on Saturday. That's kind of his thing. He does his quick hits. He talks about just about every sport you can think of. But this one was particularly special. He digs deep into Jackie Robinson because, of course, right now, being that we're in February, this is Black History Month, which is supported, and we would all not be here today talking about sport the way we are if it wasn't for Mr. Jackie Robinson breaking down the color barrier on April 15th, 1947. So, guys, please go check out Mr. Shannon Smith's show. He does a phenomenal job talking about Jackie Robinson and kind of what he meant to baseball, what he meant to the world. And I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to talk first on this show and honor Black History Month, although I do echo the sentiment that Mr. Morgan Friedman had. Watched an interview one time with him, and he put it eloquently that you cannot regulate Black history to 1 month. Black history is American history. It's world history. So I echo those sentiments because, again, I would not be sitting here today. I would not be the person I am. I would not love sports the way I do if it wasn't, for the men and women who fought through so much adversity 70, 80 years ago to play a sport that they loved and stood for equality and wanted to just be treated the same like a human being. And here we are. I mean, we're 60 plus years, 70 years later, and we still have issues in our country that we cannot get over. And that's a little disheartening, but you know what? This is a positive show right now because I want to talk about those who laid the foundation for the NBA as it is today, because we would not have the players you see today. LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, all the way back, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. The history of sport and the history of NBA would look very, very different if it wasn't for certain players that defied all odds, put up with some of the worst hate, and dealt with some of the ugliest sides of humanity that you've ever seen to play a sport that they love and to want to kick down doors for, what we see today as far as sport and especially the NBA. So I got a few guys I want to talk about here that really made an impact, and we should celebrate all the time. But first, let's talk the first black player in the NBA, October 31st, 1950, Mr. Earl Lloyd, playing for the Washington Capitals, played against the Rochester Royals way back, 1950. So it took 3 years. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in the NBA, or in the MLB in 1947. It took 3 more years for the NBA to think about opening its doors to black players. Earl Big Cat Lloyd, the first, dealt with a lot of adversity, a lot of racism, a lot of negativity. He also was the first black player to win a championship. He's got the Syracuse Nationals jersey on. Shout out Syracuse. 1955. So 5 years in the league, ended up winning a championship with the Syracuse Nationals. First black player to do so. $71 years ago. Which is crazy to think of, because that's not that long ago. But without that first step, where would the NBA be? Where would we be right now? The NBA, a global brand where every race, creed, color, nationality plays this great game now. Look at the greatest players we have in the world. Most of them are international players. So not just black. We've broken all kinds of barriers and became a world game. And I think that's what we need to look at here again, guys. Not being political, but we are all human beings. We're all on this earth together as one. So we got to look at it like that, and especially in the NBA, I cannot tell you how exciting it is to watch the NBA grow like it has, and to see some of these players just blossom. I mean, you look at a Nikola Jokic, best basketball player in the world. We'll talk about him here in a second. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP, coming off a championship, a black Canadian. Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a black Grecian. The NBA has become a beautiful sport where you don't see color or nationality or anything that. You just see a guy that hoops. You got hoopers out there. Doesn't matter what they are. So shout out Earl Big Cat Lloyd, the first. Then we had the first black player drafted out of Duquesne, Charles Chuck Cooper, selected by the Celtics, 13 overall, first pick in the second round. Again, the Celtics taking steps to integrate and to look past the hate and realize that basketball is what it is. It's a sport that anybody can play and that everybody should play. So shout out to them. And then also in 1950, we had Hank DeZonie, played for the Tri-City Blackhawks. I don't have his picture. But another one that deserves a shout out. He only played 5 games. Tri-City Blackhawks were in Iowa. He only played 5 games. And he left because of severe racism and poor conditions in Iowa. He couldn't live somewhere nice. He could not deal with the racism that he dealt with. And I don't blame him. I mean, it was bad. Where he only lasted 5 games. Couldn't take any more. Guys, we need to remember these kind of things. How hard it was to love your craft and not be able to play it and not be able to live where you want to live where you want to live and not, use the restroom the same as your fellow players, to not be able to stay in hotels with your teammates. The things that these guys had to do with, you couldn't eat out together. Just the hate that they had to deal with. And it just wasn't these gentlemen. It was, there's still a lot of racism out there, unfortunately. You see a lot of it today, especially in football, aka soccer, especially over in Europe. It is almost disgusting, some of the things that happen over there in Europe, in some of these soccer teams and some of these players. But it went through, Russell dealt with it and Wilt dealt with it. And, a lot of those guys through the 50s and 60s and even into the 70s had to deal with it. The hate and the racism and the bigotry. It's sad, but we have to talk about it. You cannot erase history. You have to learn from it. You have to talk about it. You have to understand why, and you have to understand what these men had to overcome to do what they loved and to just live a normal life. It's crazy. And then last guy I want to honor here, my New York Knicks. We're going to talk Mr. Sweetwater, Nathaniel Sweetwater Clifton, 1950s. Knicks, the first contract given to a player. He actually played with the Harlem Globetrotters. Shout out Harlem Globetrotters. Got to see them numerous times. Still a lot of fun to watch them. Came over and played for the New York Knicks. These guys are pioneers of the NBA. The NBA owes a debt of gratitude, and they have. The NBA has honored these guys. They've kind of put them in the Hall of Fame. They've done some different things to kind of honor their legacy. But I don't think it really is enough to really feel and understand what they had to go through just to play basketball. We take so many things for granted nowadays. It's so easy to go pick up a ball and go hoop. Back then, you just couldn't do that. There were buildings these guys were not allowed in. Gyms they were not allowed in. Again, restrooms, restaurants, hotels that they were not allowed to go to. And it's disgusting that humanity is like that. And unfortunately, we still have a lot of those feelings out there today. There's still bigotry and racism and hate because of someone's skin color, because of where they're from. Again, trying to stay out of politics, but it's hard with the news and everything that's going on around our country right now. But we need to realize, again, that we are all human beings. And we just need to treat each other better. And that's why I try to preach love, preach understanding, preach respect. Don't hate somebody. Ask questions. Don't be mad at somebody. Understand where they're coming from. Understand the life that they've led. These gentlemen had a rough time just to play the game of basketball. And the NBA is thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. I have players all over my walls who I would not have on my walls if these men hadn't took the chance and dealt with what they dealt with. Earl the Pearl Monroe. I'm looking at pictures right now. Patrick Ewing, Lawrence Taylor, Joe Morris. I got guys all over my walls here. Willis Reed. You name it. I'm very thankful for what these guys have done. And shout out Mr. Shannon Smith. I appreciate his podcast on Jackie Robinson breaking down barriers, because we do need to remember. And again, it just sucks that, we have to have a month. No, this is American history. This is world history. This needs to be talked about and celebrated all the time. We need to come together and really and begin to love each other for who we are. We are floating around on this big rock, and especially those who love sports. Sport would not be what it is today without gentlemen like this, without Jackie Robinson. So, shout out. Thank you very much. Again, shout out Shannon Smith. Thank you very much for your podcast. Gave me some inspiration too, because I wanted to talk about these guys. Because I love the NBA. I love basketball. I love sports more than anything. It is part of who I am, but it's also just a small portion. Music, movies, just the kind of person I am. Without these gentlemen breaking down barriers, I would not be who I am today. I would not listen to the music I have today. I would not have the friends that I have today. So thank you. Thank you for breaking those barriers 70, 80 years ago so that I can have friendships, that I can listen to hip hop music and soul and R&B and not be shamed or looked upon with disdain. I appreciate it. Because again, to me, this is human music, or it's a humanity thing. I don't look at it again as a color thing. I look at it as we're all the same. We are all the same. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you listening to me. But drop a line. I want to know your thoughts. How important is this, and do you feel that Black history is not just for 1 month? It's American history. It's world history. It should be celebrated every month. We have a long way to go. We still have opportunities out there. So just remember, guys, it's all about love. Show some love. Show some understanding. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into. We had a trade in the NBA. Actually, a couple of them. Not what we're looking for Wasn't like, we had a whiz banger here. It was an okay trade. Kings, Cavs, and Bulls. DeAndre Hunter. Cavs got Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis. Bulls receive Dario Saric and a couple second-round picks. Again, the second-round picks that are just given out like nothing. That's why, like, when I look at the Luka trade and I look at the Trae Young trade, like, second-round picks are given away like nothing, and those guys, one draft pick between two superstars still absolutely boggles my mind when you get a trade like this and you actually have some draft picks in there. What this is for the Cavs is it's a pretty big cash dump. DeAndre Hunter was making $24 million plus a year, so that frees up some cap space for them. Cleveland freeing up some cap space. We'll get in that in a second. But underperforming, he's only averaging 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, a couple assists. So not really worth a $24 million guy. They get Dennis Schroeder, who we'll talk about him here in a second, and Keon Ellis, a young sharpshooter, but only making a couple $1 million a year. So again, saving some money. They may end up waiving Schroeder. But this is his 11th team. His 7th team in a little over a year. Schroeder is traded. Oh my goodness. This is like, I don't even know. I've never seen anything like. He's literally a part of every trade and gets. I feel bad for him, and he's echoed his sentiments a couple of different times, just about how, the business of basketball and how he's treated. In the past year, a little over a year, he's been with the Raptors, the Nets, the Warriors, the Jazz, the Pistons, the Kings, and now the Cavaliers. And of course, when he was with the Kings, he had that little bit of a dust up, little tunnel action with Luka Doncic on the Lakers. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. But this poor dude gets traded away more than a pudding cup in a middle school cafeteria. It is absolutely insane how many times he's been traded. And he's probably not done yet. And that stinks because, you're trying to, that's your home. Like, you're trying to, like, settle down. Okay, I'm with this team now, but nope. I mean, he literally he just needs to live out of a suitcase because he's going to be packing it up and going. Crazy. But what does this trade really mean? Not a huge trade. Again, we're waiting for the big boppers. We're on Giannis watch. We're on Ja watch. We're on, we're watching for something. But the Cavaliers clearing some cap space. I wonder if there's something big in the works in Cleveland. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think I'd like to see it. But I would not be surprised if possibly LeBron James coming back to Cleveland. Now, I said it. I think he should come back for his 24th year next year, number 23, number 24 for number 23. I think he should finish his full circle. I talked about it on the last show, full circle career with the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James finishing up in LA. He did what he did, got him a ring. They landed Luka. They're in kind of good hands. They need some more on that team. But could this be the opening of, Cleveland making some room to take on LeBron's salary so he can get out of LA? Because I think the writing's on the wall. I mean, that's that LA team. You got Luka, you got LeBron, and then you got nothing. You got a whole bunch of players. Connect wants to get out now. You got a bunch of guys that it's not the ideal situation for LeBron James. There's no big three. The West is super difficult to get out of right now. How they got 5 teams ahead of them that would crush them in the playoffs. So maybe LeBron's like, hey, I gave them what I gave them. Maybe LA can get some draft picks. They can get a couple other players. Send me back to Cleveland. I can finish up in Cleveland. I can go play with D. Mitch and the rest of them boys. Cleveland's got a better path, an easier path through the playoffs than in the East and going to the West. So maybe this trade has, I don't know, maybe I'm just spitballing, guys. Let me know. Maybe I'm just going crazy here and I'm hard up for a good trade, but I'm trying to look past this because again, big salary dump. LeBron James makes a lot of money. You would need a 2 or 3 team trade to get him, but it would not shock me to see before the trade deadline LeBron James back in a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. You heard it here first. That's what I'm thinking. LeBron James traded possibly before Thursday. Here we are Monday. Got 3 days for it to happen. Cleveland, big salary dump. I'm putting it out. I'm just putting it out there, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I know I'm crazy. I want a good trade. I want something. We got spoiled with the big Luka trade last year. Done shocked us all, put us all in like holy cow mode. You know, they just traded Trae Young, so we had a nice, a little appetizer this year with big trade. So now we're waiting for that other big, huge trade to drop. So I'm just my conspiracy mind is running wild right now. But we had that trade, and then we had a secondary trade. And I will give anybody $5 if they really knew who these guys were and what this means. Vit, and I'm not even going to say his last name, and Duop, I'm not even going to say his last name, and a couple second-round picks. Again, the second-round picks, man. Just, they give them away like candy. It's like the little bowl at your grandmother's house with the Werther's Originals. That's the NBA and second-round picks. They got the little Werther's bowl right there. That's what makes the Trae Young trade so insane and the Luka trade so insane that you would think that 5 or 6 second-round picks would have been involved, but no. But Blazers get themselves a young shooter. Shoots, Vit hits 42% of his threes. Top 20 in three-point shooting. So, I mean, Blazers have played leaps and bounds above expectations. With what that happened to their coach in the beginning of the year, they deserve a huge shout out for playing as well as they have, because just above expectations, phenomenal. But those are our 2 trades right now coming out of the weekend. 3 days. Thursday, 3:00 Eastern time. We're hoping for Giannis. I wouldn't be surprised to see LeBron going back to Cleveland. Does Ja get traded? Does somebody take a chance on Anthony Davis? There's so many things moving around. Does something else big happen? The Knicks, the Heat, Lakers, the Pistons, do they get involved? Hot team right now. What does Oklahoma City do? Oklahoma City, you talk about a team with capital and assets. holy cow. They can make so many kind of power moves, but they're very, very quiet. Houston, still kind of quiet too. So there's a lot of teams jockeying for position, pushing for the playoffs, looking to dethrone the champions. I wonder if these guys start getting into the mix. So I'm hoping by our next show here on Wednesday, I'll have more to report on the trades. So here we go. But let's get into the layup line. I haven't done the layup line in a while, guys. I miss it. Just kind of some short stories I want to throw out there and get with you here. So we're going to jump into the layup line. First thing I want to get to is playoff P. Mr. Paul George suspended 20 games by violating the NBA's anti-drug policy. He did put out a statement. And let's get it closer here. I'm going to hit some more buttons here. You know, he's over the past few years, I've discussed the importance of mental health. And in the course of recently seeking treatment for I can't even read that, something I've made improper medication. So essentially what he's saying is he took the wrong stuff, failed the drug test, and suspended 25 games. Now, I look at this and spin it in a positive way. He was just coming off an injury. Paul George, you know, his health has been in question. 76ers are 6th in the East, 27-21. There's 34 games left in the NBA season, regular season. Maxey, VJ, Joel Embiid have been carrying the Sixers. They've been playing really well. So now, 25 games. So that means he's going to come back with 9 games left. So I think that's enough to get him ramped up for the playoffs. So if anything, I think this is a blessing in disguise. He's healthy. He can stay healthy. He can keep practicing, get ready for the playoffs. 9 games left, comes in and is ready for the playoff push. And you may get a healthy, old school playoff P for the playoffs. So, yes, I mean, it is what it is. They didn't specify what he failed to test for. But failed it nonetheless. But again, blessing in disguise for the 76ers, because now once you get closer to the playoffs, you're going to have a healthy Paul George to add to that lineup. So that'll be interesting to see what happens and how the rest of this plays out with Mr. Playoff P, Mr. Podcast P. Shout out when you're on your hiatus for 25 games. If you ever want to jump on and talk, reach out to Jason over here on 3 from Deep, man. I'd love to have you on and talk some NBA. So Playoff P, Podcast P, shout out. Hit me up on the Boom Broadcasting Network here. We'll get you on the show. We'll get in here Friday night, coming out of the weekend. Friday night, Nikola Jokic back. The Joker has returned. First game in about a month. In a 16-game absence. 31 points, 12 rebounds. Like he never left. I mean, this guy is absolutely ridiculous. In a win versus the Clippers, 122-109. Just started where he ended up. I mean, this dude is amazing. He is about as vanilla as you can get. His game is ridiculous. His, interactions with the media, etc., is just about. He is just so. I don't even know. Even keel, just plain. Does not get overly excited, overly dramatic about anything. He is hilarious. But man, 31 points, 12 rebounds. Because look, the Nuggets, second in the West. 5 games behind OKC. They're 33-16, half game ahead of the Spurs, 2 up on the Rockets. They are a legit contender in the West. They held their own for the past 16 games and did not lose any ground. You lost the best basketball player in the world, and you're still second in the West. Dangerous. You get a healthy Nikola Jokic back. Dangerous. OKC, you're on notice. You better get the bat signal out and get some help because the Joker is back. And then also on Friday night, Luka Doncic. Luka doing Luka things. This kid is ridiculous. He's throwing his hat in the ring and making a statement for the MVP push. Because, again, without him, I think the Lakers are just trash. You have an old LeBron James and a bunch of D players. But Luka Doncic, he's something ridiculous. He had a triple-double before halftime, 26, 11, and 10 by half. Ended up 37, 13, and 11. Didn't need to do much after the half because they're playing the Wizards. They won 142-111. So it wasn't really a close game. But Luka Doncic, I think he's up there. I think he now is second in the MVP votings. I mean, you got to put SGA up there. I think Luka's second, Cade Cunningham third. Right now, that's 1, 2, 3 for me. SGA, Luka, Cade. 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to be a close MVP race. But Luka, ridiculous. He's got the Lakers 6th in the West, 29 and 18. But they need more. Luka needs help. He is dragging this team like he did with the Dallas Mavericks to the playoffs. He is ridiculous. Top 5 player in the world. Unbelievable. So, yeah, Luka, MVP push. Love it. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Here we go. Giannis watch, trade watch. We are getting close to that trade deadline, dude. 3 days left to go. So Wednesday, I'm hoping to be talking about some big deals. And then Saturday's show, we'll kind of recap. And then Wednesday's show, we're also going to talk about the All-Star game, All-Star starters. The reservists were picked, so I think that's something else we're going to get into and talk about on Wednesday. And kind of dig into that and see if there was some omissions, some snubs in the All-Star game that we can talk about too. So, again, guys, thank you very much. Again, shout out Podcast Committee, Black History Month, guys. Quick hits up Shannon Smith. He's going to be doing something special all month on quick hits here on the Boom Broadcasting Network. So you got to check it out. It's something awesome. But check out everybody on the Boom Broadcasting Network. Sean, It Stinks, talks about TV shows and streaming shows. Phenomenal. You got to hit Chris DeLuca with MLB, pitchers and catchers, getting close here, getting close. My man Michael Davis, my man mouthing off with Mike. Lots of wrestling coming out of the weekend. Just had Royal Rumble. He did a phenomenal job covering that. So, guys, there's a lot going on. Aaron, Carson, good Lord, I could just talk all day long about the Boom Broadcasting Network because we have a lot of great content providers on here, man. And you got to jump on. You got to get with it because we got something special here. So I thank you guys very much. Again, like and subscribe. Hit me up with a comment, question, concerns. If you guys want me to talk about something or you just got something to say, don't be afraid to say it. Rock and roll. So thank you guys very much. I will see you on Wednesday. Peace.